Hey, it's Rebecca Smith from the KBIA newsroom in Columbia, and it's time for Missouri Health Talks, a project where we listen in on Missourians' conversations about access to health care. For the past few weeks, we've been sharing the stories of caregivers from throughout the state. Doretta Kidd lost her husband Johnny to Alzheimer's last November. She and her stepdaughter, Ashley Avery, who assisted with his care, spoke about what they learned from their years of caregiving and what they're doing now to try and continue to make a difference. Here's Ashley.
There are 4 people in my family that have officially been diagnosed. That's my reason, because I want to know what the genetic factor is behind it. I don't think it's a coincidence that so many of my family have been diagnosed. Who's to say who went undiagnosed? My dad's family is huge. He's the second youngest of 11 kids. So, with me being one of the youngest of my generation out of all of his siblings, so I don't know like the siblings that may have come before me, including like his parents' siblings. I didn't really know them. So I don't know how far back this disease goes. So a big push for advocacy for me is because I want to see changes as far as like early detection, because I think early detection, number one, will help to prolong, the inevitable, but to help prolong, I'm in clinical research now. So I'm in the advocacy group because the only way that we can truly get a cure is we need diversity in clinical research. And we don't have that. We preach a lot about clinical diversity. Is it getting better? Absolutely. But again, because it's genetics, we need diversity at trials. And unfortunately, because of, the way our country started, Black people are afraid of research. And so, as a Black woman in clinical research, I want to advocate to bring more diversity to the table and not be afraid to be poked at sometimes or to be prodded, because that's going to be what brings us actual cures. So, I had to join because genetically I can be impacted.
For me, I advocate now because of Ashley. I do want to, try to be a voice for others, especially with resources that I did not qualify for. Like, I'm just amazed that my husband was a veteran and did not receive any VA benefits at all. And when I would apply, I was declined because of our income. And, people think when you're middle class and you have a decent income that you're good, but you're not good. Just his daycare alone was $75 a day. But I had to pay that out of pocket, which, people just don't understand. But again, you do what you have to do and you make it work. But if there was resources available, that would help.
The Senate, our Congress, our government, they do not know about this stuff until we as caregivers and advocates start to share. That's the only way we're going to start seeing change.
That was Ashley Avery and her stepmom, Doretta Kidd, speaking about some of the things they learned from caregiving and how they're continuing to give back. That's it for this week's Missouri Health Talks. Tune in next week for more conversations from throughout the state about health and access. I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for listening.